think that really depends on what you mean by Brexit. If we're talking about full disengagement from Europe, then the impact could be significant. In those circumstances, I'd see the impact falling into three categories. For those EU-derived employment laws that have been brought in through what I call secondary legislation, such as the 2P regulations, if we repealed the European Communities Act, those regulations would simply disappear. However, a number of EU-derived laws have been brought in the UK through primary legislation, that's Acts of Parliament. And so if we were to repeal those, the government would need to go a step further. It would have to repeal the specific act. For example, the Equality Act that implements anti-discrimination legislation from Europe. And then there's a third category, which are UK laws which have nothing to do with Europe. Things like unfair dismissal rights or national minimum wage. Even for those EU-derived rights that could disappear, I think we have to pause and question whether a UK government would want to remove all of those overnight. Many of these rights have become entrenched and accepted over the years, and I could see substantial resistance from employers, employees, trade unions, if, for example, anti-discrimination laws were to be removed. Well, a partial Brexit, I think, actually we could see very little change. There's two main options here. There's the European Free Trade Association, which I call the Norwegian model. And actually, Norway, as an EFTA member, is signed up to all current and future EU employment laws. So really, no change. The other route would be what I call the Swiss model, which is a series of bilateral treaties, a negotiation effectively. But even there, we may see that EU laws would continue.